Welcome back, everyone. So, if you haven't seen the first part of this, this is me doing my attempts at complete Silksong 100%. Now, so last time we got all the way to getting the Drifter's Cloak, and we're kind of going to pick up from there. So a couple things I kind of want to mention. First of all, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like I've gotten the settings and whatnot for, you know, recording and whatnot too. At least where, as far as I know, I can take it. You know, I did some listening to the first recording, and it seemed mostly okay. You know, outside of, you know, loud keyboard stuff, but you know, I've tried a couple of things, you know, noise suppression, noise gating, that sort of stuff, but I couldn't exactly get to, like, I would get to a point where I would, like, there was no way I could really mask the keyboard sounds, no matter what I tried, because eventually it would just get to a point where it would also stop doing my voice. So it was, you know, just a little bit, you know, I kind of had to, you know, say this isn't good enough. Like you know, there's some things I probably could do to make things a little bit better. Like, maybe getting, you know, a pop filter, or maybe, I don't know. I'm not an expert in this sort of thing. I'm just doing this because I can. I expected to really go that far where I would really permanently need something like that. I might be able to borrow something from my dad, maybe, because I think he has a filter, and we have to use the same mic. I'd have to ask him about it, but then I'd have to tell him that I'm recording stuff. And ew. Imagine telling your dad everything. That totally isn't me or anything. Anyway, fourth chorus time. So for fourth chorus, now I'm gonna be a bit aggressive here, and, you know, this would probably be one of the first opportunities I would say that the magma bell could be useful. Because, you know, the lava everywhere. I actually, like, of my 10 runs, this was the earliest point in which I died. And the whole reason why I died was because I got comboed into the lava. Because, you know, that was... I don't know if this... I can't remember. Does the swipe do double damage, or does... I think it does do double. So yeah, 4 damage, die. Ain't that familiar? I should probably tip... Yeah, there's a whole story behind... But yeah, getting comboed is not fun. But yeah, my biggest kind of, like, tip here is, especially, you know, if you don't need a heal, most of his attacks, while you aren't able to hit his head, you know, right away, what you can do is kind of, like, if you time it right, you can hit his head with a silk spear while he isn't stunned. Now, obviously, if you can, you know, you can do it while stunned. And of course, if you somehow don't know, you instantly kill fourth chorus after a certain point by knocking these rocks down. But yeah, if you're hyper aggressive, he is really quick. He's also probably one of the easiest bosses in the game, but he is cool. Or it, I guess, will be the appropriate thing here. Or they? I mean, like, if the... Like, one of the lore things that I've kind of learned is that, like, the little gleam flies, I think they're called, like, they're like the souls of bugs. So it's like, it's not really alive, but it made of people who were alive. I don't know, I'm thinking too hard on this. Let's go ahead and unlock this station. There's a hidden room to the right, but we can't really do anything about it right now. So, no need to do anything except to unlock the station. If you aim right, you can actually hit that top rock, but I missed this time. There we go. Here, boom, break this. So that room's to the right. That one allows you to upgrade the curve claw tool. But unlike their base versions, the upgrades, so that includes, you know, I forget what the upgraded curve claw is called, but the something like the Druid's Eye upgrade also doesn't count. So you don't need to worry about tool upgrades for the sake of this run, but that's where you would actually do it if you decide to go that way. Of course, the whole reason why we go in here is there is a flea in this room. Like, that's the only real reason we come over here. There's also some rosaries that you can get. Wait. Hey, I was a wooing. You meanie. Oh my word. not punished. There was no damage there, sir. Totally not. Just like I totally didn't take damage from this guy. See? 5 masks. No, nothing ever happened here. I don't stay airborne for too many enemies, but this is one of the ones I do like you doing that with. I just find it easier to kind of control things that way. Because I like to kind of fight things kind of like precisely, and there's a little bit of like, you can never expect an enemy to, you know, be exactly where you want to if you're planning on doing a pogo, especially one that is a diagonal one with like Hunter. Now, I don't mind the diagonal pogo of Hunter. In fact, Hunter was my main crest during my first playthrough, even though I was quite terrible at using it to its max effectiveness because skill issue. Like, honestly, Hunter, you know, because it really encourages you not getting hit, it is definitely the one where it really, like, shows if you have a skill issue or not. Especially once you get the evolutions. Hi, Sherma. Hi, person who's about to get haunted, totally. Why did I do this? This is not part of the route, I just autopiloted. Huh. Well, at least I can permanently open that up. So, you know, no harm, no foul. I did not learn about this until I saw it on YouTube. I'm so glad that I know about that, even though I only go in there once normally anyway. You can tell that speaking is not entirely my strong suit. I kind of just say the first thing that comes to my mind, but then like my head goes too fast, and then suddenly I find I'm running over myself. See, case in point. Oh yeah, I notice that I'm like tripping over my words and stuff. Yeah, that's just pretty much normal. Also, like, I'm trying to think about what to talk about, you know? Like, so as I kind of mentioned, you know, if you see notice the channel, I have done a little bit of, like, you know, streaming stuff, you know, back in 2022. That's when at least I think it was 2022, was when I, did that. Anyway, welcome to Great War. But, I am not, but this is the first time I've ever done anything like super recorded like this. So I'm kind of unfamiliar, so I'm kind of still getting into the feel of it, but also just in general, I tend to run over myself anyway. So yeah, that's what's with that. It's not that I... This is normal. So, birds. They're very clearly meant to be kind of the equivalent to crows. Like, I know they're bugs, but man, they're birds. And there's one thing about this game in particular: screw the birds. They're evil, mean, cruel, and nasty, and want to kill you. Except for the one that gives you your fade down cloak. You know, that's the only good bird around here. So, bird arena. So, this was the first time, like, on my first playthrough, I like, I don't really rage, you know, not like you know, what you would kind of normally expect to rage, but you know, but this was my first time I actually rage quit in the game. Like, this arena took me a lot longer than it actually really should have. Don't land on my face, thank you. Like, you know, of course it doesn't help that I have, trauma. I mean, thing that throws 3 things at the same time. That's totally not familiar. You know, I especially have extra trauma because of, so, of course, you know, I mentioned, you know, Pantheon 5. So some of the bosses got slightly changed. Collector was one of them, and for those that have done that fight, you know, gotten Embrace the Void ending, you would know that one of the things that the Collector can summon specifically in that fight is the Primal Aspid. Oh, I thought that was 100% going to hit me. I'm so glad that did not. But, you know, Primal Aspids, you know, they do that same kind of attack. And then the kicker is that it was the only enemy that could, like... So, of course, your all bindings, your nail, one of the debuffs is that your normal attacks are weaker. And because of that, if you did not have the soul to just instantly kill them with a blast, you would just suffer because you would have to hit every enemy twice, and when one of those enemies is the Aspid, I lost so many of those Pantheon 5 runs to Collector, you know. Other ones I streamed, eventually I found a rhythm to it. But, like, that was one of my biggest, struggle points for a long time. You know, between, like, it was Collector, it was, Grey Prince Zote for a while, and then, Markoth. That were my 3 worst Hollow Knight bosses. Like even, like, obviously, you know, I was, you know, some of those bosses are so pretty, like, I loved NKG, and, you know, I had a lot of practice with Absrad, so it didn't make it quite as hard as the other ones. Plus, you know, I want to not, you know, just shrivel up and die because I died Absrad. I think I died her, you know, on my actual runs, like twice. It was like my 3rd or 4th time that I actually finally managed to beat all bindings. But like, of the runs that got to her. But anyway, moral of the story. Things that shoot in 3s suck. Alright, so, first off, you know, for those that know, this is where you get your second spell, Threadstorm. Threadstorm is definitely one of the skills that I use more, especially, mostly in the early game. Because, like, up until you get Sharp Dart, like, my main, at least up to Act 3, is Sharp Dart. But Threadstorm is definitely my second go-to. Basically whether or not I need AoE or have a horizontal attack. It's whether I go between the 2. Oh yeah. But Threadstorm is really solid. It's really... That was not the Silksong. I didn't want to heal there. I was full health already. But you know, Silksong, you know, you can extend it a bit if you keep pressing the button. At least, I forget if it's holding or if it's spamming the button. I got it. That's away. But yeah, very solid spell, does a lot of damage. Positioning is the hardest part about it. Alright, 3-fold pin. This is one of my favorites. It is super... You become the Primal Aspid. It's very solid. It doesn't do as much damage as the basic straight pin, but instead it's very easy to use. I meant to do that, totally. that was close. But yeah, I like using the threefold pin. It's definitely one of the ones that are up there. The ones I've also used the most. Especially ever since I started doing these runs. Like, especially for the early game, I would highly recommend you using that if you're struggling to especially getting enemies that are further away from you. That you can't exactly hit easily with a normal straight pin. So this is another one of those good examples of enemies who'd rather just snipe through the platform. I hate the bell enemies so much. Like they're not different. Like, especially the flying ones that are in the Citadel. Like, those ones are the worst. Like, that's definitely also one of the ones you want to have that threefold pin for. That's one of the ones I use most on those. All right. You. Oh, I'm at 2 health. That could have been bad there. There we go. There. Alright. Cringe, we could wait until his quest pops up in order to start talking to him, but I just do it now because, you know, it's in the, like, he is directly, you know, right there. And also, of course, you know, we want to pick up Buds of Farloop. Like, the only reason why we need to accept this quest is due to the reward, which is like a tool pouch. It's a tool pouch or a crafting kit. It's one of the two. Yeah, if that wasn't necessary, I wouldn't be picking up this quest because, like, you know, that adds a whole other tab to the menu we have to scroll through. That's fine. We shall hunt. Alright, of course, now we have this enemy arena to deal with. Oh, I mistimed that. Oh well. It's the last guy anyway. First, we can ignore the bell away for now. I'm gonna go ahead and give myself just... Oh, right. Raker isn't here until after that. Right, because Morwing. Right. So, speaking of Morwing. So, Morwing is technically optional for... Because if you get the 5 fleas and talk to Mushka, he will move the caravan to the Greymoor, where Morwing is typically fought. I don't know the exact timing of when Morwing would become, you know, fightable. Like, I don't know that, but I know that he will come back eventually. So yeah, so technically he's optional. Just since there's no reward from him, you just have to kill him and move on. But I like to fight him because, again, practice for the inevitable, eventual, you know, Pantheon or whatever they decide to do for the Boss Rush DLC. But you know, they're at least working on... Oh, I'm looking forward to whatever they come up with next for a DLC. Like... Because, man, that's going to make me spend a lot more time. Plus, there'd be a little bit more strategy, too, with the 100% guide, too. Because I would imagine if it's going to be anything like how it was in Hollow Knight, they'll start adding additional percentages. Because, you know, like, what will be our equivalent of 112 by the end of it? I don't know what to really expect for... Like, what they might possibly have. You know that they already have something in mind, considering that the Team Cherry's already basically said that they already have some extra content in mind that might come eventually, from what I recall. But whatever it is, I'll be there. I am a hopeless fan. like this game series has occupied my life, and I'm not sure if it's a it's an infection, I swear. It's taken me. Just how much I love this game. Like waiting for Silksong, like I was willing to wait as long as it needed to, and I've been a fan for let's see, if I would have been in like 9th grade, I think. Like, I know it was in the last house I lived in before where I'm at now, but like I was like just barely in high school when I became aware of the I got spooked. Okay, we're fine. Okay. Got a little bit nervous there for a moment. But it has occupied a large portion of my brain space for a lot longer than one reasonably should. Now, even if I haven't necessarily, you know, because I basically took I didn't play Hollow Knight right before Silksong came out, and really, the last time I really played for real was when I beat Absolute Radiance on all bitings. So, but even so, it occupied my mind in other ways. You know, it's bad when, you know, I come up with stories all the time in my head, but when it gets so bad that it actually occupies, like there's some sort of element of some sort of the game in the stories you create in your head and talk to yourself, it just, you know that you have a problem. I mean, it's not a terrible one to have, you know. Might as well be passionate about something, I guess. Certainly could be worse things, but yeah, I have a slight problem. And I'm so glad to be here. And I imagine that Silksong is going to do the exact same thing to me. Especially since I know that, like, me and my cousin, we do roleplay stuff together, you know, just nothing too crazy, you know, just some Discord stuff. There's definitely gonna be some lore drops at some point about the insanity that we do, but like we're already planning, like, as soon as my cousin beats the game for himself, because he hasn't done that yet. He's still in Act 2. He hasn't even completed the melodies yet. Yeah, he's taking his time. But like we're already saying, yeah, once we're like we've already basically said, yeah, once we know everything, you know, once we've seen everything, yeah, we're gonna set up a new roleplay just for Silksong. And admittedly, I'm already looking forward to it. I already have an OC character lined up for it. And maybe at some, you know, once it seems more appropriate for me to talk about it, because yeah, her character would be from one of the later areas of. She's from she's a Stilken, and for those that have read The Hunters, you know exactly where that means she must be from. But yeah, well, I'll talk more about it once we get to that point. But yeah, that's going to be a thing that I'm going to be doing. But anyway, enough about myself and my personal weirdness. Morrowind time. So Morrowind... Morrowind, like, obviously was one of the ones that got nerfed. Specifically, like, he still mostly does double damage, but his saw blades do only single damage now. So one strategy that I really like to use, so, well, I'll wait for it once he does that. There we go. That's what I want. There we go. Dreadstorm is super effective here after that attack, especially in the second phase. So that's my little tip for you if you're still struggling on Morwing, is that to make use of your floating ability, and then once you get Threat Storm, spam that Threat Storm. Okay. And there you go. That is a almost flawless Morwing. Okay, and with that, we are going to retreat back to the Beltway. Because there you go. As you know, I already mentioned, there's the flea quest that moves them once you move them to Greymore. Once you have the 5 fleas, which we do. But once you also move there, you also get the flea brew. And of course, tools are a required thing for us to grab. Therefore, we go and grab that. Hold on. Let me just double check with my route, just to make sure. This might actually be when I get, yes, that's right. Yeah, so there's a couple of things I need to do before we proceed to Steelheart here. First off, we are going... Time to rectify the error that I made earlier at Pilgrim's Rest. I mean, I still opened the door, so fortunately, I won't have to pay again. But, it's time to clear out Mort. Oh, and also at this point, the dude is haunted now. And there we go.
Yanara.
So yeah, his total amount is usually if you have over 600, you're good. With Mort, clear amount. Nice. Oh yeah, and you also get to do Life-Saving Bridge as well, which is the second of the 3 donation quests. There are 3 each for each of the settlements, if I recall correctly. So, makes things really easy to keep track of. So there's actually an interesting thing about this particular quest. So, this is something I found out. So, if you don't flick the lever that's right after the first big bell bench in the beetles for this quest, one of them actually has a different location because they can't go up there. Which is just like a very small detail, but I just find that kind of neat. Yeah, I probably could use Threadstorm more for this. There we go. That's number 1. Okay, 1 hold. There we go. Oh, one thing I just realized, I never talked about Reaper Crest when I got there. Here we go, Reaper Crest. Reaper Crest is pretty good, especially for early game. Especially if you're not comfortable with the diagonal pogo of Hunter's Crest. You know, it isn't quite the same as Wanderer. It's definitely a lot slower, but it's pretty alright. It also, if you're struggling with maintaining Silk with your healing and whatnot, then Reaper is also good for that. And it's also good for fights where you either need the reach, or even with faster crests, you're only really able to hit them once. Like, of course, you know, with more experience and whatnot, like, this is very much a, you know, a good crest for you if it's your first time playing and whatnot. And for that extra stability, like, I think it's alright. It's not my favorite crest to work with. Like, I'll be honest, like, I am Team Hunter, Hunter Wanderer. Though I also started really enjoying making use of Witch. It's just that I still am getting used to the healing part of it. But I had a lot of fun messing around with Witch Crest on in Act 3. No, not Act 3, Run 9. 8. Number! There's a third number I'm looking for, and daggone it, my brain is not thinking of any of them. This is what happens when I record at midnight. And I have school at 8 in the morning. Alright, there we go. That's that and that. Now I have to get back. Honestly, I probably should have bench warped. Well, save my bench spot so I can warp, but that's fine. I can make it back. It's not the worst travel in the world. Yeah, this section is probably one of the ones I could probably further refine just for speed. Just because I know that there's a little bit of back and forth that I kind of have to do. But that's fine. Yeah, so of course, you know, for the beetles, you get your third memory locket, which will allow you to fill out completely either the Hunter or the Reaper crest. Whichever one that you kind of prefer. Again, I'm not going to force you into any one build. Like, I think there's only been once that I kind of mentioned a potential, you know, hey, this crest could be pretty good for strategy. And I'll mention it when it comes up. But that is for a long while yet, and who knows if I'm gonna even get there on this run. Anyway, here we are, finally at Mushka.
That's fine.
Barishkava para vos.
Miofene?
Ushkar mitri. Kavak kats.
Megina
That's of course, you know, gotta get through all this dialogue first in order for you to be able to turn the wish. Man, they're so cute.
Hironare.
Punta. Osh.
Of course, go ahead and travel with the Flea Caravan. I mean, it gets you right where you need to be, so no reason not to. And also, cute, adorable cutscene. I mean, look at this. Who would ever say no to cute fleas? Why would you deny Hornet this?
Yanaga noshke.
Nesvir?
Punta. Osh.
So cute. So anyway, no, of course, you go here, make sure to speak with Krishkin. And he gives you the sleep room. Or, I'm not sure the gender of that one. Anyway, we're all good. Now we can finally go to Belhard. And yeah, everything sucks here. Yeah, we're not gonna unlock the Bellway for a moment. I take care of that after it's saved. Just because it's more convenient. For reasons that will be quite evident in a moment. Well, if I get to that point. Alright, so here we are now in Shellwood. I'm gonna lure you. I probably should have taken the bench here, honest. The bench there. You know, it's fine. Yeah, this would definitely normally be a straight threefold pin angle. Especially since, you know, no, I need to be careful. No, I need a bench. There is going to be some regurts there. Those flies are not easy to deal with. Hey guys, just hanging out, huh? I know that's terrible. Why am I like this? What am I feeling? What am I feeling this run? Yeah, I feel like a hunter run. Wait a minute. Did I not speak? No, Huh. Well, that's something I'm gonna have to deal with later. That's fine. Don't mind me, I'm just casually questioning everything. Yeah, normally I'm supposed to have the druids up, but apparently I didn't actually finish the quest. Even though I was right there. There we go. That works. Right, the long pin. So long pin, it's a bit tricky for me. Like, I haven't really experimented with it too much yet, outside of using it for one particular quest down the line. It's not my, like, it certainly ain't, my three-fold pin, that's for sure. However, the arc is kind of nice for trying to get some of those enemies that have that little bit of a different erratic flight pattern. If you were not directly underneath me, it would have been perfectly fine. And keep in mind, like, I think 2 of the 3 attacks that this guy can do is double. I know that the flying wheel one is. I think that one is too, just based off of the length. Yeah, this is a relatively simple arena to handle. Oh, so for the record, this particular bench, this would, like, on my earlier runs, this would be one of the ones that I would take. Especially if you aren't too familiar with Widow and her attacks, as well as Sister Splinter. Though Sister Splinter isn't nearly as bad when you have a very, like, at least I feel like the particular strategy that I use is very, like, it's not only easy to pull off, but also, like, it basically trivializes that fight.
Benny Frank. Fadastana.
I'm going to do a slightly different routing, because thinking about it, I can probably do something similar to what I did with Mushka with Grey Root. So I'm gonna not accept her quest just yet. I know I'm paused right now. No. Hello? Let them hear the music. Let me just double check. Normally I do get, Rite of the Polyp quest. But I'm choosing not to, because I feel a little bit quirky. Especially since I'm going to be coming back to her at some point anyway. Yeah, this guy I typically normally do tools with, just because he has that little bit extra difficulty. And there we go. Lots of rosaries. Or a bit of shell shards, basically. The fun fact, this is where I died in run 9. Because I just did a whole bunch of stupid things. So I'm not gonna risk that here. I'm just gonna kill this guy in particular. I'm gonna go ahead and just get some extra silk here. And just to be a little bit cautious. Well, I think that if I recall correctly, this is... I was pretty... I thought I was gonna do, grapple there. Okay, sometimes the interaction with the float and the float and ledge grappling is weird. I thought I was gonna get hit there for sure. But I didn't. Alright, there we go. There's not really a super convenient point to get that bellway, but like really it's just take your pick before or after you get the big bell bench. Alright, so I'm gonna be going in not at full health, which is not great, but I feel very confident with Sister Splinter, so it shouldn't be a problem. She'll always attack in threes, and kind of like how the Soul Master is in base Hollow Knight. You can kind of hit her in between her attacks. Now, the ads. I know this was the difficult part. Okay, the ads were in particular were what were nerfed. Yeah, this feels like a reset angle. So again, this is kind of like part of the I was being a little bit careless. But also, of course, I said something about being confident about it and immediately just takes a whole bunch of stupid damage. It happens. This is the first time I've had to reset for Sister Splinter in a long while. Oh my word! This is the first time I've ever gotten this. So yeah, that is a thing. If you reload, there's on that bench while Haunted Bellheart is haunted. That can happen. That's the first time that's ever happened to me. Oh my word, I'm so glad. Like, I tried to force trigger it my first playthrough, but it didn't happen. So I'm so glad that it did. Worth it. See, totally planned. Totally. Ugh. Don't rush things too much. Alright, let's see if I actually do things right this time. Right, now's a good time to heal. I probably should have held that. There we go. That was what was supposed to happen the first time. For the most part. Say no to ads. Right, this would be the group. Yes, okay. realize that that was what was supposed to happen. For the most part, that thing didn't. The second ad that showed up didn't die right away to the transform. But for usually, you know, if you can get a good position on it, you can one-shot them and, you know, makes things easier. There we go. And just like that, wall jump is now ours. Technically, a lot has opened up, and we're going to look at almost none of it. You tell I have such a way with words. Alright, so take care of that, and we instantly go for Widow. I know that you can technically skip with it. No, you can't because of the bells. Never mind, because of the route we're using. On Phantom Route, you could probably mostly skip her if you're just going for basic, like a basic speed run. Maybe. I might be completely and totally wrong. Alright, so the Bell Veins of Bellheart. I always forget about you. Like, even getting to Widow for the first time can be a bit of a pain just because you have to navigate around all of the things. Hold up! Like, these bell veins can be a bit difficult to navigate. Especially lane, you kind of have to be really careful in Silksong. Mostly because of these big guys, like I'm just, you know, technically enemies can be kind of infinite here. If you keep circling around, you'll just keep finding more of the little guys. And then these big guys, the big firms, I think is what they're called. That's even more so they can, you know, they have to do double damage, and until you accidentally run into one of these guys and it ends your run. So yeah, just be a little bit careful when you're navigating these tunnels. But as long as you use that due caution, you'll be fine. Alright. So, Widow. First of all, if you don't want to talk to her, you can just taunt and she will instantly start attacking you. If you're just trying to go that little bit faster. My second tip for this run, as I'm still using Red Storm, is that there are a couple of really good opportunities for you to use it on. Like this one in particular. Like that's the best attack for you to use your magic skill on. This is also pretty decent, though not as good. Like, if I had the tools for it too, also just in general having, either straight pit, like any actually of the three main attacking tools that you have at this point, actually would all work fairly decently. He is using a lot of this attack. Really? I got clipped. Tools are also good here, just that I don't really have any as of right now. I haven't sat at a bench in a while. Thanks, Steelheart. First for phase 3, you know, to get the lot of pragmatic. Keep in mind is that the bells do ricochet off of the walls, so beware of that bouncing. Just kind of keep an eye out for where all the bells are going. It's better to stay put, and if you know you're safe, then move around if you think you're not. Okay. So that'd be another. Of course, you could also get to use your threats on here. Not as effective on third phase, but it still is pretty good, especially if you don't know if you're gonna get deflected rather than, you know, have her take damage. Hope it's better than an hour. Right, so so we're just about finished here, at least for this episode. We just need to find ourselves a little place to park ourselves. Of course, right now we are kind of dreaming or something. I'm still not fully sure what's up with these little visions. Like, are they from like I know that the one that you get for First Sinner is it's from her directly. I'm not sure about the other ones though, where they might possibly be from. Like, obviously from Weavers, but beyond that, that is one of the things I'm not really too familiar with. It's like, when's a Mossback video when I need it? Yeah, but I'm sure, you know, it'll make sense eventually. There we go, of course, you know, gotta pick up the mysterious glowing orby thingy. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of me suffering madness and also tiredness. Man, I need to go to bed. Yeah, we made pretty good progress so far. Gotten all the way to freeing Bellheart in about 2 hours. Which is, at least, I think, pretty quick. For gathering stuff. Now, obviously you could do that a lot quicker, but that's if your objective isn't this. But anyway, I will see you next time. Bye-bye!